What's happening, everyone? Thanks for joining us again. My name is Oren. I'm the co-founder of a new type of basketball camp called Hoop Brains, where among many things, we love to debate about the NBA. I got two of my favorite Hoop Brains here today, Jeremy and Rafe, getting ready for our MVP debate. Who's the best big in the league and who should be this year's MVP? We got the Joker versus Embiid for our debate today. I'm going to start with my man, Rafe, who is going to convince us that Joel Embiid should be this year's MVP. Go ahead, Rafe. What's your first stat that's going to bring your argument home?
So I think that the most impressive thing about Joel Embiid's season so far has been the historical significance of it, because the last center in the NBA to average 30 points was Moses Malone in 1982.
Ooh.
It's been almost 40 years since then. And the only other player ever to average 30, 11, 3, 1 steal and 1 block is Embiid this year and Kareem in 73-74, and Kareem won the MVP.
All right, going back to Moses, you're taking it to my day and my time in the NBA. Jeremy, how do you respond to that?
All right, so my first sticking point here, although it's not going to help me too much in terms of Jokic versus Embiid, I want to set the scene as for why the center needs to win this MVP award. There's something called voter fatigue in the NBA, and that's something that has affected the MVP conversation every single year. It has occurred 2011, Derrick Rose, when he won the MVP, the youngest MVP ever, he beat out LeBron, who was statistically better in every single way. Steve Nash against Kobe Bryant in 2006, Michael Jordan against Karl Malone in 1997, and the same thing is happening this year with Nikola Jokic. A center has not won the MVP award since Shaq in 1999 to 2000, that season. The narrative is there for Nikola Jokic to win the MVP. He is revolutionizing the game, and he is that person that people not only enjoy watching, but they want to see him do well and win that MVP award.
All right, I think Rafe's going to agree that it's time for a big man, but Rafe, why are we saying Embiid instead of Jokic?
Well, I think that overall, the most important thing in the game of basketball is winning games. And right now with Embiid on the floor, the Sixers are 30-9, and they're 9-9 without him. And they're currently the number one seed in the East, and it looks like they're only going to get higher with the injuries to the Nets and the Celtics having a lackluster year so far. And out of the last 38 MVPs, 31 of them have been the 1 seed, and only 3 times has the MVP not been a top 3 seed, and the Nuggets are sitting at the 4 seed right now. And Jamal Murray's out, so they might even slip lower because LeBron and AD are coming back. You never know.
What do you say, Jeremy?
Yeah, so now let me dive into a little bit of why Jokic should be winning the MVP. First of all, he's averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists per game. 9 assists for a center is something that we have never seen. We talk about how Steph Curry, Steve Nash, these people have revolutionized the game. He is changing basketball right this very second. He's averaging 56% from the field, 42 from 3. He just had his 50th career triple-double the other night, which is something that only 2 centers have done in history, him and Wilt Chamberlain, and he did it in 300 fewer games. This is something that it's unbelievable, and I think the last thing that really sums it up is this thing called Raptor, and it's basically a plus-minus statistic that measures the number of points a player contributes to his team's offense and defense per 100 possessions. So it basically gives you an idea of who's really affecting the game in a positive way. Jokic ranks first in this statistic by far, by almost 3 points throughout the entire league, whereas Embiid is barely hitting the top 10. He is a superstar. He is a runaway candidate for MVP.
Rafe, you got one more shot to convince us that it's Embiid. What do you got?
Well, I think that basketball is a two-sided game. Offensively, Jokic, he is the most complete center. You can't call someone a complete player unless they're also a great defender. And just look at Joel Embiid in the past few years. In 2019, he was 4th in Defensive Player of the Year. 2018, he was 2nd, and he's only improved since then. And recently, he went on with Stephen A. Smith, and he made his case for Defensive Player of the Year. And I also just really like that confidence in my player. I think you got to really believe that you're the one if you want to be the one.
Last argument goes to you, Jeremy. What do you have? I'm telling you, this is going to be a tough one for me to judge right now.
I agree with Rafe that confidence means a lot. However, when we look at the amount of games that Embiid has played versus Jokic, the numbers just show you that Jokic has to be the candidate. Embiid has played in 39 out of the last 58 games for the Sixers this season. That is winning the MVP award. That's something with the fewest amount of games it's not even possible. The last MVP winner to do that is Karl Malone, who played in 49 out of 50 total games in the 1998 to 1999 season. So he was still playing as many games as possible. Since then, there's only been one other player since 1977 to play that few amount of games and still win the MVP award. And in the modern NBA, where we have players like Giannis, like Luka, Dame, and of course Jokic, who are putting up amazing numbers and have a great chance at the MVP award, someone who is not playing every single game, especially considering they're probably going to be resting him for the playoffs and a couple more games. There aren't enough games to say that he's going to be able to win the MVP.
Ooh, man, it looks like I'm seeing Rafe's face. It looks like he wants to keep going on this one. We can keep going. So first of all, I love all the history that came into this debate. I'm an NBA history buff myself, and you can't have MVP debates without looking at precedent and history. I thought you both did a great job of that. And I'm going to say I was leaning toward Embiid, but I think Jeremy brought it home for me in that very last argument. I did not know historically how important it was for an MVP candidate to have played in so many games. And that one really brought it home for me. This was a fantastic debate. We could go back and forth. It can swing either way, but I'm going to tip this one to Jeremy. And I know Ray's going to get him back on the next one. Thank you so much for watching these two brilliant hoop brains come, bringing their minds, their data, and having fantastic debates about the NBA. That's what we do at Hoop Brains. I hope you'll come and spend a week with us this summer. Thank you.